DC has been thrown into chaos the past few weeks after new Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav made some big moves, including shelving the Batgirl project, including telling everybody there's going to be a different priority for DC going forward. And he wants, like this headline says, to have a new 10-year plan, just like what Marvel did with Kevin Feige and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, in light of all that, it's brought on a lot of questions like what else might they cancel? What about all the garbage that they're looking to put on HBO Max? What about these films like The Flash that are highly controversial and continue to have Ezra Miller making problems for them? And while some people see it as a good thing, like maybe Zaslav can get this thing going in the right direction by focusing on quality, a more recent rumor that came out about who he might be eyeing for this job, for this Kevin Feige of the new DCEU, has people very, very worried about the direction it could go. Arrowverse boss Greg Berlanti is possible candidate for DC Films' Kevin Feige. Yes, Greg Berlanti, one of the people that has been behind the Arrowverse for the past decade on CW. Now, I will admit, I watched a lot of the Arrowverse shows when they first started, especially as they started doing this cross-connecting things with all these different characters and all their different shows. However, over the past 4 or 5 years, it has gotten so insufferably diluted. However, over the last 4 or 5 years, it has gotten so insufferable because of the identity politics, because all of the focus is on inclusion and diversity and all this woke bullshit, as opposed to telling a story and keeping people tuned in. It's gone off the rails. As a result, we've seen so many different shows be canceled, so many shows that went way longer than they should have if you looked at the miserable ratings that they actually had. In fact, the CW has never been profitable despite some of the Arrowverse success that they've had. But this is the guy that could potentially be rumored to take over all of DC Films? You've got to be fucking kidding me. But here are some more details on the report. Arrowverse creator poised for DC's Kevin Feige role. According to Variety, Arrowverse boss Greg Berlanti is a potential candidate to oversee Warner Brothers Discovery's new incarnation of its DC Extended Universe. Much like Marvel's Kevin Feige, Berlanti is overseeing a connected DC universe, or as the Arrowverse, on CW. Beginning in 2012, the shared universe has consisted of shows like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and more. However, since The Flash final season airs in 2023, it appears the Arrowverse may finally be coming to an end. Variety said Warner Brothers has yet to officially approach Berlanti, and the producer hasn't pursued the job, with some people suggesting they don't know if he's interested or not. Now, there's some people who have thrown shade on this report. Again, it's just a rumor. It's just a report out there, so who knows what's actually happening. But if this is a reality, if there's any truth behind this, that they're even considering Greg Berlanti, despite looking at what has happened to the Arrowverse over the last 5 years, when you look at things like Batgirl, when you look at things like Supergirl, when you look at the way that these ratings have fallen off a cliff from what they were at their peak, it's for a very specific reason. It's because they decided that instead of focusing on good storytelling, they wanted to appeal to the woke crowd. CW made that a point. Greg Berlanti and the Arrowverse all made that a point, to include identity politics in nearly every single episode of every Arrowverse show over the past 5 years. As a result, they drove their fans away. That is not the person that you want to bring in to run all of DC Films. Now, the one thing that does, make it an interesting thought is, yes, Greg Berlanti and a lot of other people did oversee this Arrowverse continuity, where you did start to have multiple different shows all coming together for these crossover events and things like that. And when it first started, I do think that it was done reasonably well, at the beginning. So you could say he's one of the only people that really has experience like that in that kind of Kevin Feige-esque role, but at the same time, if you look at the product, if you look at the cringe, if you look at what they have been putting out on a CW that is not making money, how could you consider this guy to be the next head of DC Films? But I guess nothing would surprise me at this point when it comes to DC. Who knows what the future holds for Warner Brothers and this brand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.